I kind of had an idea for this video before, but I literally just was thinking of like what kind of video should I make today. And I was like, I had a feeling, an idea to create a video talking about how to overcome doubt for people who doubt their creativity, and how to be more creative, and how to boost your creativity, and how to get yourself to create art and overcome the or the idea or the doubt or the ego that I'm not an artist, I'm not a creative person, I don't know how to create, and I don't see myself creating art, I don't see myself being a creator or an artist. And my perspective from how I see things and how I see people, I see everyone as creative beings, as artists. And art is subjective. Everyone has their own art that they love to create, whether it is playing an instrument and playing music, or whether it is writing journals, or writing a book, or whether, I mean, when I talk about writing books, first of all, books can be anything. You could be a cookbook writer. You could be someone that loves to cook and you love to write, and so you love to write cookbooks, okay? And so you are, a chef and a writer at the same time. And so this is what I mean by art is subjective, because you can also be a music writer, a songwriter, and you could write books with talk about the history of music, or you could just write your music down and write a whole bunch of songs and put it all in one book and have a music book. Or it doesn't even gotta be music, it could be a painting or a comic book. If you like to draw, you could put all your paintings and all your drawings inside of a comic book or graphic novel, and you could have a book of paintings or a book of drawings or like a comic book. Okay, so it's like you can combine different forms of art and create your own art or find your own niche. And for me personally, I just say what I like to do is, I do like cooking every now and then. I do love cooking every now and then, and trying to create a new dish, or maybe mixing up an old dish, or maybe changing up some classic recipes. Like today I was thinking about making some nachos, but instead of and I don't want to talk about me trying to create dairy and cheese and stuff, but I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I probably will, but sometimes I eat pizzas. I'm not perfect, but part of my diet is trying to stay away from dairy and cheese. But I'll be lying and saying that cheese isn't delicious, especially with nachos. And I think nachos is delicious, but I am trying to stay away from pork. And so today I had an idea. If I were to have some nachos, I wouldn't put pork on it. I would put pulled chicken on it, and have some nachos with pulled chicken. And I was like, dude, that actually sounds delicious, and I would probably eat that. And I asked my coworker that too, and he said that it sounds delicious to him too, and he might try it. And I was like, that's interesting. I just took a classic recipe and just changed one thing from pulled pork to pulled chicken, because I think that's more healthier, and I feel that it's more healthier, pulled chicken nachos. And chicken has been proven to be more healthier than pork, there's science to back it up. And but for me personally, I feel better when I eat chicken than I do beef or pork. So I'm going off of science, but I'm also going about how it makes my body feel after I eat it and put it in my stomach. So, and I think chicken tastes better. If you wanted to, we can talk about how it makes my stomach feel, but I think chicken tastes better than pork. And that's just another, I don't know if that's a personal preference, but I would say, because chicken makes my stomach feel better and chicken tastes better than pork, I would rather have chicken in my nachos than pork. And so, what was I good at? Just changing up old recipes and trying to think of some another recipe or another dish that I did that I changed it up. Like chili. I used to make my chili with beef, but since I've been trying to cut out beef from my diet, I replaced it with ground turkey, and it is still delicious, and it still tastes like chili. I use my red kidney beans, or I can't remember what the other beans are, but with my chili sauce, and then I add hot sauce into it. And then I thought about ways that I could mix it up, like I add crackers to it, or maybe jalapenos in it, or I wouldn't say cheese because I'm trying to remove cheese from my diet. But like I said, I eat pizza every now and then, so I'm just trying my best to stick to my diet as much as possible. And if I cheat every now and then, I try to forgive myself and just be okay with it. But I do try my best to maintain my diet and to stick to my diet as much as I can. And so, but I have, nobody's perfect except for Jesus, and I have to be okay with me, not being completely perfect with my diet. And it's just like, it also reduces anxiety of, not trying to count the calories, of not trying to, freak myself out or stress myself out about having my diet to be a certain perfect way, because it just causes stress and unnecessary anxiety, because it's almost impossible to be completely perfect with my diet. But I shouldn't stress myself out on trying to be completely perfect with my diet. And I should allow myself to have some leeway and some freedom, allowing myself to eat food that might not be the healthiest food to eat, but as long as I try to eat majority of healthy food, and I eat healthy food every single day, and I have just a little bit of dessert every now and then, I think that's okay. And so, I just think being consistent with a healthy diet and trying your best to stick with it is what's important, and what you eat every day. And what you eat every now and then, like a pizza every 2 weeks or something like that, I think it's fine. And that's something I usually do. It's like I probably end up having a pizza. I probably have a pizza every 2 weeks. But as long as I, make sure I eat healthy every single day, taking a mushroom supplement and eating eggs and eating, my crickets, and eating vegetables and eating chicken and turkey. As long as I'm eating healthy food every single day, I'm okay with eating some junk food or some unhealthy food every now and then. Now, I wouldn't want to make a habit out of that, but I wouldn't want to stress myself out or beat myself up for allowing myself to eat pizza when I've been consistent with a healthy diet every single day. And so it's like, and even drinking wine, but it's like allowing myself to have that freedom and to relax with my diet and not be so stressed out and strict about it just makes me feel better. And it just makes me feel better overall and makes me have a better mood. And I do talk about you are what you eat, and if you eat trash and terrible food, don't act surprised when you feel trash and terrible afterwards, which is true. But like I said, every now and then I feel like it's okay. And to put cooking aside for a second, and we can be creative with our cooking, but for people who doubt their creativity overall, and they don't see themselves as a creative person, whether it's with their art or with their cooking or even with socializing, they don't see themselves as a creative person, or even with their jokes, or that's part of socializing. But people who doubt their creative abilities, I want to say that I was that person, and I still doubt my creative abilities to create YouTube videos every single day. I'm thinking, oh, what video am I going to create today? Man, I'm probably going to be a stupid idea. I'm probably not going to have that great of an idea, or I probably won't even know what to talk about, or I doubt I'll be able to create a video today. I still struggle with that doubt, and doubt my creative abilities, and wonder if I'm even going to be able to create anything today. But I do know that sometimes you just have to, take an idea and just go with it and run with it and just see what you create. And then allow yourself to create something trash, even if you don't have a great idea. And just allow yourself to be creatively free and to create trash with no judgment. And so you could just practice your creativity and exercise your creative abilities, because that makes you more of a creative person. Allow yourself to create trash art, which is still art, because art is subjective. By allowing yourself to create trash art, you've now boosted your self-esteem and boosted your creativity and your confidence too. Because all confidence is being sure of yourself and your abilities, and feeling capable of doing something, okay? So feeling sure of myself and in my abilities and feeling capable that I'm able to do something is confidence, okay? And so a way that you can boost up your confidence is just by doing and taking action without overthinking too much. And so we're all capable of creating trash art, okay? It's just allowing ourselves to do it and to just do it, alright? And don't overthink it. And don't let the doubt, don't let the insecurity, don't let the fear of embarrassment, don't let the idea that everything that you create has to be perfect, everything that you do has to be perfect. Don't let perfectionism strangle you, okay? You let all that stuff go, all that fear, all that doubt, okay? And you just create and just do and allow yourself to be creatively free and to just create whatever you want, even if it's trash, even if you think it's terrible or the worst thing ever. You still created something. You still did something, and it wasn't lazy. You were still productive. It's better than sitting in your bed scrolling on TikTok and YouTube, which is what I do sometimes. And you still got out of your bed and you did something and you created art. Okay? And so, yeah, when I first started this YouTube channel, I had doubt, and I talked about it. I'm pretty sure I talked about it when I started my channel and some of my videos, but I had doubt, especially since I grew up with speech problems, and I didn't, I did draw, somewhat when I was a kid, but I still struggle with the image of seeing myself as an artist. And I kept saying, oh, I'm not an artist type, or I'm a terrible speaker, or I'm not the best artist, or I don't, whatever. The image of myself being an artist, I feel like I didn't fully see myself as an artist. But now, right now, I fully see everyone as an artist. Everyone is fully capable of creating art and expressing their emotions and creating something, anything. And so I see everyone as an artist. I just want to help other people see themselves as an artist. Even if they think they never created anything in their whole life, you are still fully capable of recording a YouTube video and talking to the camera, or picking up a journal and writing a journal entry and writing about how you feel about today, how you feel about the week, how you feel about the season, how do you feel about your favorite movie, how do you feel. You are still able to do that, and writing a journal entry about your feelings, or recording a YouTube video talking about your feelings and how today felt, or whatever your problems are, just venting out your problems. That is still art, okay? And everyone is fully capable of doing that. Now again, some people might be mute and they might not be able to speak with their voice, but they can still write, okay? And so they can still write their feelings, and that is still art. And for people that don't have no hands and they literally can't write anything, they can still speak to a camera, and they can still express their emotions with a camera. And so, yeah, you just have to do it and get out of your head and stop overthinking and just take action and just create. And you can be creative with anything. You can be creative with writing. You can be creative with playing an instrument. You can be creative with singing. You can be creative with dancing. You can be creative with jokes. You can be creative with recording YouTube videos. You can be creative with painting. You can be creative with creating video games. That's actually a new form of creation, modern creation, but you could be creative with creating video games. You could be creative with decorating your room. And I talk about beautifying our room and having our room be a reflection of our personality and our character and our whole identity. Put posters up of your favorite movie. Put posters up of your favorite music artist. Put posters up of your favorite video game. Because right now I've got a poster up of Spider-Man, which is my favorite superhero. I have a picture of Minecraft, which is my favorite video game. And I have a picture of Juice WRLD, which I would say is one of my favorite artists, music artists. He's a rapper. And I have a picture of Death Note, which I would say is one of my favorite animes, okay? These are all expressions of who I am and expressions of my personality. And what I like to say is splashing your personality and your character and your soul into your art, okay? So when someone walks in your room, they will be able to tell that is your room without you telling them, hey, this is my room. Because of the decorations and how the room looks and how the room feels and the vibe of the room. They know and feel that this is your room without you telling them, okay? And so you could be creative with decorating your room. And so yeah, my room used to be a bland, boring room. And I didn't have much decorations up. I didn't have any decorations up. And it would just be plain walls, and I didn't have any posters up. Didn't have any rugs. Didn't have any curtains. Or maybe when I did have a curtain when I was a kid, but it would probably just be an ordinary curtain. It wouldn't be no outer space curtains or anything. But I wouldn't have any decorations in my room. My room would just be bland and boring. And so when you would walk in my room, you would think, oh, this is just a room. It's just an empty room. I don't know whose room this is because there's no decorations. And it just looks like a regular empty room, a boring, bland room. It doesn't look like it belongs to me. Okay? But like I said, part of beautifying our room and decorating our room and creating art, I see decorating our room as creating art too. Because, art is subjective. But when you do that and you decorate your room and you beautify your room to splash your personality and your character all over your room, so that, like I said, when people walk in your room, they know, they feel, and because of the vibes, they know and they feel it is your room, okay? And so, it's about leaving your mark on your art. And for people that doubt themselves and their creative abilities and they don't see themselves as an artist, my advice to you is to create something every single day, whether it's a YouTube video or a journal entry, or whether it's you decorating your room for the first time and trying to imagine, hey, what decorations should I put up? What kind of lamp should I get? What kind of rug should I get? What kind of curtains should I get? What kind of posters should I get? Should I put some LED lights up? You just have to get creative with it and know who you are, learn who you are, and ask, what would I love to put in my room? What would match me and reflect who I am? And so I recommend creating something every single day, whether it's a new cooking recipe, whether it is a journal entry and writing about your feelings, or whether it is creating a YouTube video talking about your problems and venting out your problems and how you feel. And even if you're homeless and you're just talking about how homeless is and how homeless feels to you, and you're just venting out your problems. Like I said in my past video about creating trash art, even if you're homeless, and I made videos when I was homeless too, but creating art when you're homeless helps you be in a better mood and feel better overall about being homeless, and can help you come at your survival problems and help you handle your survival needs with a better mood, a more fresh mind, and it will help you feel better. And so that's why I recommend prioritizing creating art over taking care of our survival needs, because when you prioritize creating art first, it will help you feel better and put you in a more loving mood and help you feel more love. So that way after you create art and you feel better about yourself and you feel more love, you can come back at your survival problems and your survival needs with more love, with a better mood, with a more fresh mind. And so your survival problems and your survival needs aren't as stressful and aren't as nerve-wracking and aren't causing as much anxiety as they used to be. And so, yeah, I highly recommend prioritizing creating art over your survival needs and creating art even if you're homeless. And I also recommend creating your art for Jesus and dedicating your art to Him, because He is the creator of everyone and everything, and the original creator and the creator of all, okay? And so He is the best inspiration for our art. And so I highly recommend creating our art for Him. And so for everyone who doubts themselves and their creative abilities and seeing themselves as an artist, just try to create something every single day, okay? And that will boost up your confidence and lift up your self-esteem and boost your creativity and help you become a better artist and see yourself as an artist. And so it just starts with doing it every single day. And not letting laziness and doubt and fear and any of that stop you, okay? And so, yeah, highly recommend creating art every single day, which is what I'm trying to do, is create a video every single day. Even if I don't think I have a great idea, or even if I'm not too sure exactly how I know the video is gonna go, I'm just spontaneous, don't overthink it, just turn on the video, record, and just start talking and see what I create in the moment without thinking too much, and just feel, go off of feelings. And I think another word is like freestyle or winging it, and speaking from the heart, or creating from the heart, or top of the mind, I guess, if that's what you want to say.